Nah, incredible.
Which joints he did for Big?
What's Lord Finesse's big joints? You put me on the spot. You know what? That's why we got.
Because you know what it is. Well, he's another person like, you know, he really doesn't speak that much. So, he did The Message. I know Trey gonna know. He did The Message. That's the name of the song he did, The Message.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that. That's for Dr. Dre. I'm trying to think of the Biggie joints he did.
Message is a good joint too. That was like, yeah, that was Now I gotta look. That was that storytelling joint that he had at the end.
Yeah, he killed that beat. Let me Suicidal Thoughts. That was his joint.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew that. And you, like, as I say, he's so humble. Like, he don't even speak about none of his, like, his resume.
Nah, super legend, bro. Super legend.
Like that is same thing with you. It's like people never really heard you speak before. They just know who you are, the way you look. That's it.
I be doing technical joints. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I save it because people be asking weirdo questions. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, yo, like I do the technical shit, and I don't do all the like the gossip and all that.
Wow.
I don't do that.
So what's your technical? So what do you think plans are for the future? That's in Guru's future.
Right now, I'm gonna do the thing where I'm putting out more music. Like I'm gonna do a compilation album, #1, with a bunch of different MCs. I'm gonna do a joint for the people in Delaware, like from where I'm from, because I want to showcase as many people as possible from there.
What part of Delaware? Wilmington? What part of Delaware you from?
Wilmington.
Okay. That's where like Lloyd Price and all them from that play ball.
Yeah.
Damn, a lot of people don't even know you from Delaware.
Yeah, my mother from North New Jersey. People get it misconstrued, right? So my mother's from North New Jersey, my father's from Southeast DC. So I was bouncing back and forth between like New Jersey and North, and then going to New York as a young boy to like go shopping. All of my cousins would take me out, and then in DC early I was in Southeast. So it's like that's why them two places are special to me. But I was born and raised in Delaware until I was 18. Then I went to DC to go to school. Then I left DC, moved to Jersey and North. I'm just living where my family lived at. That's all I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm figuring I might as well stay on the Jersey side if I got to go to New York, because back then I had kids. So I needed help. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed help with the fam.
Nah, because Jersey rep you hard. That's why I thought you was from. I thought you this because you know Jersey reps you so hard.
Yeah, that's home. That's home. So that's what that is. Is like imagine that's where my mother from. So if I'm going to visit my aunts, my cousins, you know what I'm saying, my grandma, I got childhood friends that's from North. Like we sandbox from North, like real North cats that I never met. Meaning, you just been there my whole life. My mama put me with your mama and you when I was in diapers. We just always knew each other. We never met.
Like a lot of people didn't even know Just Blaze was from Jersey.
Yeah, Patterson. Yeah.
So besides your camp, what artists do you like? Like what type of music do you listen to?
I listen to everything. I listen to everything. Like everything. Like from the young boy shit. Like my son really be keeping me up on like what the young boys is doing. Because I'll have little times where like my son get in the car and I'll give him the aux on purpose just to see what he listening to. Or he'll screenshot artists he listening to and send them to me. So I always want to know just what he on. But me personally, like, I don't know. Like right now, I'm probably like Griselda out. You know what I'm saying? Because I just love they movie.
The funny thing is, you was the first guy to tell me like, yo, you'd be surprised what Jay-Z listens to before he signed him. Like, he listens to 38 Special and Griselda and all of them. I'm like, word? He's like, you'd be surprised. Like,
we fans of music, man. Like to say, you know what I'm saying? An album come out, we listen to it. We fans of music. We want to, you know what I mean? Like that's the big thing. It's just like, yo, I'm a fan of hip hop. I listen to a lot of people's music, and I don't hate on the younger generation because I don't want them to sound like me when I was 18. You're supposed to sound like what it is to be 18 right now in 2020. That's the difference. So when I was 18, we wasn't sounding like people that was 10 years older than us. Ever. We was different. So it was just like, I always want to hear the difference. Like, I love the Brooklyn movement that's going on with the drill shit. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Like, I love people coming up with their own thing and like, this is my identity and this is who I am. It may not be the type of style that I produce, but I can appreciate it. The same way, like, people be surprised at how much, like, I'm a Lil Wayne supporter, right? I would never produce the way Manny Fresh produced, but that's why I like it. It's something different for me.
Yeah. You know Lil Wayne's nice too, man. He actually nice.
No, incredible. incredible.
Nice.
Incredible. Like I was there. I seen it. I'm just using him as an example of something that people might think is like out of what I fuck with, but I fuck with everything. From I got homies in all different states and like all different fields, and like I'm like watching the homie Rick Rock, you know what I'm saying, when he's changing and doing what he's doing in the Bay Area and how that's affecting the younger generation, which is the reason why we'll give him a call and be like, yo, we don't need you to necessarily do that, but come over here and give us Change the Game. Come over here and give us, you know what I mean? Like bring that flavor to what we do because we respect what you're doing. Bleak was the first person that started putting me on Southern artists that of his generation. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of a T.I. until Bleak.
Yeah, they said that he just kind of like discovered Rick Ross, like he was telling.
Like Ross was coming to the studio with us. We was doing this is right after the Blueprint got made, right? So we go down to Miami. We was in Circle House. So we there for like a month. And it was really supposed to be like a Bleak and Beans album. But they did a couple records, but they work at different times. So really what came out of that was the State Property albums, right? Because everybody down there. But meaning to say, Ross was coming to check Bleak on the daily while he was at the studio. No beard, wearing jerseys, like back when he was like, oh, okay, I'm another member of Slip and Slide.
Yeah. Wow.
That's how I met Ross, was through Bleak. Bleak always had it. Think about it. Bleak did round here and goes to the label and is like, no, I want T.I. and I want Trick. On a Southern style record where everybody was like, what? Like, who is T.I.? Bleak was on it early.
Yeah, T.I. wasn't even big yet. You know?
He was on it early. Like, Bleak was the one that was like always, you know how you got your dude that's from New York, but he loved West Coast music?
Yeah.
And he always played, you know what I mean? That guy, Bleak was that for like West Coast and for the South. He was just like always on new MCs and like, but really not like the average 8-baller MJG record. He bumping the whole album and the B-sides and the like, that's just what he liked.
Nah, that's real. Now, because I heard that. I heard he was like one of the first people that was on
no, absolutely.
T.I. and especially Rick Ross. They were saying he kind of bought him to Jay-Z.
Absolutely. His co-sign was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Of saying like, nah, I fuck with homie. Like his music is this, his music is that. Like, especially with Ross, like he was a huge co-signer of Ross. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not to take away from like what Shake did and what Hove did and all that. I'm just saying Bleak was on them early and he would bring it. He would be the person in the crew that's not ashamed to be like, yo, I fuck with this. And y'all need to start adjusting y'all beats because this type shit is taking over.
Wow. He's saying that from an artist. He's an artist.
Yeah, early. Bleak is a good like A&R type like executive dude. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't really realize that, but like his ear is open because he travels so much and be around so many different type of people that he see all them different circles. Bleak was on it early.
Nah, that's dope. I ain't gonna lie. The person put in a question like, I was about to say the same thing. Griselda definitely restored the feeling back of like real hip hop. Because you know, at one point it was just going a direction that was like nobody's saying anything. So now you got, you know what I mean? Like you got like Rain was in here earlier. You know, these like artists I came over like Rain is dope, Ransom is dope. Like, he's got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now, what are the guys that actually got the lyrics? Like, what do we fit in at?
Right. Nah, but it brought it back for the city. So what I love is that feeling gets restored, but it's not like I'm trying to be old. You know what I'm saying? It's just a feeling of the way that we like our particular music, and the city got to represent itself in the music. So it got to be it can't just be one or two people. It got to be a movement that then brings the city back. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that, yo, bring New York back talk. No, you just got to put good songs out, and then people will fuck with you. That's it. Just put good music out and be consistent about it. That's what Griselda did. They consistently put out great music. They don't fold. They don't try to do the radio record. They stay with their crew. They got, you know, at the same time that they got Dillinger, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Derringer doing like they beats as in-house producers. They also look into outside people. Let's go mess with Alchemist. Let's go mess with this one. Let's go mess with that one. Let's do a whole thing with just Pete Rock and you know what I'm saying? Like with
he another guy that slept on, Pete Rock.
Yeah, like they just moving out here. Then they take in all the lessons that they learn, like say certain lessons or just the game the way it is. They took that Supreme model and added that to their merch, to where it was like Supreme was, to me, the first place that was like, yo, instead of us just selling a whole bunch of clothes, we're gonna start making exclusives. We're gonna start making like just 100 pieces of this thing so that we can sell a t-shirt for $100. Griselda is taking that same model and doing like, okay, it's only 10 of these, so we get to sell this for $300.
That's smart.
They killing the game with that.
He said he made like 20, 30,000 a month just on merch.
Just on merch.
That is crazy.
Killing the game because they making exclusives. I just call that the, you know, other people have done it, but I call it the Supreme model. Like Supreme was one of them labels that really was like, all right, let's just concentrate on this this exclusive. You know what I mean? And have kids lining up outside for years. So now they just taking that of what's been presented to them, what's in sneaker culture, what's in, you know what I mean, urban fashion culture, and adding it to their merch. So they murdering the game. Think about it. They the only crew that got backing from Eminem and Jay-Z.
Word. You right.
They signed to us. They signed to us as management. They under Jay-Z as management, and they under, you know what I'm saying, that whole Interscope thing as the label. So it's like,
so Benny the Butcher, isn't he signed to Rock Nation? Isn't he signed as an artist to Rock Nation?
So this is the beauty of it. They taking the examples of what you've seen. It's the same way RZA had Wu-Tang signed, but then it went and signed individual artists. Method Man goes to Def Jam, Raekwon goes to Loud, this one goes to this. Yeah. So they have a deal as a group, and then they can also do individual deals in different places. And then I also think people misconstrue things, because when they sign a Rock Nation deal, that's for us to manage them.
Oh, okay. You know, I thought actually Hov actually signed.
So it's the most intelligent thing in the world, because they get to spread each of their things out, and they can do, like, say if Benny did the album with Smoke DZA that Pete Rock produced, they get to do that as a separate thing.
Oh, they got a good situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's genius. It's genius. But again, it's building off of what you've seen before. Isaac Hayes, you know what I'm saying, was like the first one to really get in there and do that. Same thing with Barry White. Barry White was one of the first ones. Then you see what Parliament Funkadelic did. It's all, imagine Parliament Funkadelic is like 10 people, right? But they signing deals for each. So George Clinton is a person in and of himself. They signed a deal for Bernie Worrell to do his own music. They signed a deal for the guitar player to do his own music. They signed the background singers as the Bride of Funkenstein. Then they signed the horn players as the Horny Horns. Like, they killing the game back then. Everybody got a deal in different labels. It's the same people making the same, like, okay, we got a studio session today. It's the same 10 people. We just take this song and put it on this label. Everybody get paid.
That's smart. I ain't gonna lie. Westside Gunn definitely doing their thing, man.
Besides the fact they could rap, like, I don't never want to say the fact that, like, they could rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it ain't, a lot of times I see people that's like, it's two sides to it, right? I got real G's that be like, "Goo, I want to get in the game," and they really did what they talk about, but they can't rap for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be like, "Yo, bro, like, they got
a different type of splash though. And plus, like, upstate always been slept on anyway. Like, I used to always go up there. Like, upstate has always been slept on.
Right. They an example of when you got somebody that could really rap and really did it and stays together as an organization and is smart. Like, they doing it. It's not the only thing I listen to, but that's I love what they doing right now. I love what Mark Hami's doing. You know what I'm saying? I love Bodie James. Like, Alchemist is my man, so I pay attention to a lot of what he do, a lot of what Evidence do. But I'm on everything. You know what I'm saying? I be listening to a bunch of different stuff. Like, I'll listen to R&B. I'll listen to, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. Whatever it is.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you definitely in the right position. You definitely predicted it, though. You said, man, you know, real music matters.
Yeah, nah, it's gonna come back, especially in today's time where you can't just quick hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, we in this quarantine, so the things that used to control what we was listening to don't have that control no more. Now you get it directly from the people. So the radio can't beat you in the head a million times a day, and people not getting out and doing interviews. And if the record label is like, okay, we're gonna concentrate on this one person, there's a reason why those people dominate the news, you know what I'm saying, at that given moment, because they've sent out these things and we're going to put our artists in it. Now you're just getting it raw. Now it's who do people mess with? Who do they like? Who do you see? What fan base do you really have that's messing with you outside of somebody telling them that you're dope? What's the connection that you've made that you can sell merch in a given time? Like all of these things are where we're really seeing the breakdown of an organized promotion. You can't do that no more. Now you got to just go face to face and be like, yo, this is who I am. This is my music. Connect directly to your people and sell your product. That's it.
Yeah, because like, you know, as I said, like I try to use like all these platforms, like, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know, get myself and like people that I rock with, you know, like I promote my guy Pt.3 on the you know, he's also on the show.
Absolutely.
You know, he's real nice. So I, you know, I put up his freestyles, you know, like he had a lot of positive feedback. Like they all like rocking with him. Like he's creating his own buzz with just in that alone.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like even like production, like I've been mostly rocking with the same producer. Like he's fire. Like he's gonna be like one of the next guys up. My guy Mugga Mancini, Mugga Man. Like beats is like incredible. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's the way that's the way you do it, is to build from the ground up. So it's like once you get to a certain level, that's gonna get him to a certain level. Even us having this conversation and outside people hearing his name and want to come and just check out what his production is, and then say he do outside production for somebody else, that only will help you and blow you up, because it's like, yo, I'm one of the people that help. You know what I mean? I don't want to say
that's how I always looked at it.
We rose together. Yeah, we rose together. Yeah.
Like even as I say, even with the show, you know, I looked at it like, you know what? Even if we get a deal or not, my whole thing is like discovering talent. Because as I said, I took kind of like the same like approach of Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Right.
Like, look how many stars that he discovered.
So the show gonna be the biggest springboard. The show is the biggest springboard. Like that thing right there is gonna be the biggest springboard because of the fact that you get to include the music in the show. Exactly. Like I love the way that you know what I'm saying, you can show a video before or after the show. You actually showing real life. You can include it in there, but all it's doing is making y'all famous. And even more famous and even more famous and even more famous, and getting y'all into getting people into the personalities of what goes on a professional chiller. That's what drew me in. It's like, okay, this is some shit I could like keep watching, and I'm involved in those people. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm involved in if Pt.3 drop a record, I'm like, yo, I know him from the show. Let me go check out what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let me support. Let me do whatever. Let me buy the music. It's nothing for me. I just got to be aware of it. That's the big thing now, is like, along with the independence comes the fact that it's a bunch of people that shouldn't be doing it. So your job is to get above the noise. Whereas my job back in the day was like, I'm trying to get this A&R's attention. That's not the thing no more. Now it's how do I get above the noise? Because so many people is doing the same thing I'm trying to do, which means, one, you got to dig into your own skill and consistently study and get better at what you do and really critique yourself. But then once you got that product, it's like, how do I get myself above the noise? That's the idea, is you got to sit and brainstorm.
That's a good quote, to get above the noise. Yo, you're right.
Yeah.
That's definitely like a good you know, good, like how you broke that down. That's definitely dope. As I said, even like, you know, with the show, I looked at people like Billy D. Williams. You know, like I'm not the first professional chiller. Like you got Ghostface Killer. This guy had a rap video. I think it was Apollo Kids. He got a fur on, and he's rapping with an ice cream cone in his hand, next to like a Benz, and the ice cream cone never melted. I say, yo, this is ill. To me,
it's a thing where you create. Look at all the avenues you created just by being yourself. So if I'm the business partner, right, and I'm pitching the show, let's say the show get picked up, the very first thing I'm going for is to get with a major shades company, and we get you a major deal. Whether or not that's Ray-Ban.
That's exactly what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to create my own shade line.
It's so obvious that it's just like, yo, but you created that from you being you. You see what I'm saying? That's a natural thing of if anybody that watches the show, that's part of the comic value of it, where like, yo, he don't never take the shade. He always have to shade. He fucking with the shades on. Like that's the like that's the comedic part of it.
Yeah, that's how it's branding. I want the brand. I want the brand this look.
Right.
So where it's like, you know what? I could try to do my own shade line.
Which naturally brings up other business opportunities. So that's the thing. The thing is going back to the integrity thing, right? Like, so it's like, I always say this saying of like vibe over money, right? Like the vibe of what I do got to be right. Like, so that we not doing the bullshit like chicken commercials and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, yo, why he do that? Because the check was so big. And like, nah, but that's gonna fuck up later money because now you're gonna be looked at, you know what I mean, as a weirdo. Like, how you do that? Nah, you take the things and create opportunities that are natural for you. That's what I'm saying. Just in the first initial meeting, that's supposed to be the very first thing. Which one of these eyeglass places is we going to? Who got a connection here, here, and here? Because we got to put him with this. Besides the fact that even at the worst of it, you're supposed to be modeling some of the, you know what I mean, some of the Ray-Bans and being that representation of us from the hood in that space.
Facts. Definitely. Right. Got a point. I ain't gonna lie.
That's how you take like the things where you naturally do them and expand it further. But I'm saying that the basis, like for us, right? Take us. No matter what, we know, we're conscious. The basis of all of this shit is the music. It all started from the music. Whether or not you take that and go into a 40-40s, whether or not you take that money and go into buying the Nets, whether or not you take that money and buying the building, whether or not you take that money and buy a title, but it all started from music. So you know where your base is at. You see what I'm saying? Besides the fact that it's just like, yo, it's something that's enjoyable and fun. Like, everybody did it to death, so there's no reason why we can't be the vanguard of breaking that stereotype of like, yo, no 50-year-old can put out an album that's like gonna be relevant. Word? Okay, watch this. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me give you this.
Look at Hov been putting out records forever. And he's still spanking these young boys on these records. Still to this day at 50. Spanking them. So I'm even a big fan of E40. Always thought E40 was unique.
Incredible.
Like unique, like
incredible.
You know, a lot of people don't really give him his just due.
Him along with I say with 40. I say 40 Water and like Too Short. They showed us that independent game out of the Bay Area, and a lot of the Bay people from the East may not understand. The Bay was set up where, like, when we used to do in-stores and, like, sign, like, records, you know what I mean? When you would come, like, the artists would come and, like, sign and do in-stores back when Mom and Pops was there.
Yeah.
Like, they used to have a whole section in the Bay of just their independent artists. That's how strong their independent game was. Like, they would have a whole section with just the independent artists, and people would love to go in there and just support the artists. They showed us that independent game.
That's a fact. Because I think E40 got the most albums, right? They dropped like 30 albums.
He just keep putting out music. And again, he develops the younger artists in his area. So if you're talking about the slang that he created, if you're talking about the movement that he created, if you're talking about him as a forefather still being a part of that hyphy movement when it came along and doing records with the younger artists, that's what keep him where he could just keep putting out albums. And then I put out the wine, and then I put out, you know what I mean, all the other things that E40 is doing.
Yeah, E40 just different, man. I always look at him like he's just he's special.
Yeah.
And he's still
real entrepreneurs that took what they do and made it to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna just keep building and building and building. And it's not about like this thing of where you gotta say, yo, this person got millions, so I gotta have millions. No. If you as a young black man who does not have, like, let's quote unquote say a regular job, and you get to the point where you could put out music and you got enough people where you making, I don't know, let's say $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year. You looking at certain lawyers like, yo, I'm seeing you. Let's say you need to make $10,000 a month, right? And you selling however many, that means you need to sell, let's say, like 1,000 CDs in a, well, not 1,000 CDs, I'm saying old school, but like you gotta like get 1,000 people to buy this thing off of you in a month, right? So that means you're gonna have a bunch of streams, you're gonna have whatever it is, but your core fan base, can you get your core fan base to the point where 1,000 people buy whatever it is that you put out per month, right? If you can get yourself to getting 1,000 people to do that, that means that you can come to that city and put 500 people or 2,000 people in a venue.
Facts.
And get that money.
That's how I look at it now. I'm like, well, I got 22 million views overall on my on Professional Chiller.
Right.
And you figure if you could drop an EP and thousands of those, you know, fans, you know, like buy it, I mean, you could just do everything independently.
Absolutely. And then you take that money and you keep reinvesting in yourself. I'm just making it a point to say that, like, don't always try to keep up with the Joneses and don't believe like the bullshit, like really understand where you are and how much money is to be made and how you progress and how you build up. That's really the whole thing. Just know where you are, stack the money, build up. Appearances is one thing, but it's like, do you want to look good or do you want to actually have the money? And you could do both. You could do both, but don't, like, it's the Jay-Z line where he says, don't, what he say, don't something looking silly, spending what you've accrued on silly baguettes. I know silly baguettes silly, you're learning your own. At least my conscience is clear and I ain't steering you wrong. You can get baguettes. Ain't nothing wrong with baguettes, but make sure you get a home.
Yeah.
Basically, buy the house first, then get the diamond. Your thing is backwards. You got the new latest car, and you live in an apartment. That car is the house.
Facts. Oh, another question that somebody asked, they said, as far as working with artists, who is besides your camp, like who would you like working with, like, like far as Meek Mill? I know you work with Meek Mill.
Yeah, like, Meek experience was incredible just because of like.
Cause you mixed the whole project, his whole last album.
Yeah. So the thing with Meek was like watching people count him out. And him being like, yo, I ain't done. I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? They're going to respect me. I'm coming back. Like, coming back with championships after the Drake thing was like proving a bunch of people wrong for me. You know what I'm saying? Personally, because I'm like, I'm vested. For other people, it's gossip. But I'm like, when Meek get locked up, it's not just a gossip thing for me. This is somebody I know. This is somebody I care about. And it's like, damn, he got to go back to jail again over some bull, over popping a wheelie on the West Side doing a video? Like, this is some bullshit. But I understand where it's, people ain't as vested in it. So for me, you got to understand that's also my old assistant, Cruz, is who records for me. So that's me saying, okay, I'm watching one of my young boys move up to the next level. And I'm proud of him for moving up to at a certain point.
He definitely bossed up.
At a certain point, you got to get kicked out of the nest. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm your OG, and you still in the nest, and I know that I'm doing you a disservice by keeping you under the wing too long. Get out here and you're ready. I've trained you. Ain't nothing more I could teach you. Get out here. Now you got to learn from experience.
That's a
so
fact.
For me, it was a lot of emotion in that, of seeing Meek come back, and the amount of records and the way Meek approached me was just like, yo, go, here's the record. I know what you do. Make these records as big as possible. That was the fun for me. I mean, Meek is always somebody I love to work with, but it's a bunch of artists I love to work with. It just depends on who you are. You ain't got to be the biggest artist in the world. It's just if I vibe with you. You know what I'm saying? And then it's certain artists who I won't name that I'll never work with. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much the payday is, because I worked with them before, and it's just like, nah, I'm never put myself in that experience again.
Wow. I ain't gonna lie. You definitely bring those records to life, though.
I'm saying that from a standpoint of always want to say it to my people. I understand everybody ain't in that position to be like, yo, I get to pick and choose what I do. Some people just need to do it. So it's like, some people, you're going to have to work with some people that you don't really get along with. It's the same way somebody is working at a regular job and they work with people they don't get along with, but they got kids to feed. And they don't come to work talking about, yo, I'm not coming to work because I don't like so-and-so. They got to go to work. The same way sometimes you got to be a professional and remove yourself from the, like, I don't really like that person, but this is my job, and my job is to make this art as big as possible. Then when you get to that point where you can pick and choose, you can be like, yo, I ain't working with that person no more. It's not a good vibe.
Yeah, that's a fact. Definitely. I ain't gonna lie, you gave us 2 hours of jewels, man.
That's all. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for.
Like, you know,
I really just wanted the people to see, man. Like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like that thing of what you're doing and getting out there, becoming an actor. Not just saying, yo, I want to do it, and so many people that I see just talk about it. You actually go out there and do it. You film the show. You put the show out there. You provide a platform for other people to get known and to blow up. So for me, that's worth more than any amount of like talking about it for 3-4 hours. You actually go out and do it. Doing it is the real thing. That's the thing. Go out and do it. then we can know where your level's at. We can critique you. We can do it, you know, and it's probably a million people that have told you good and bad about the show. But guess what? They talking about your show.
That's good. As long as they talking.
They want to do the same. Yo, I swear to you, I was sitting in a room when I was younger in school, and I got mad because it's like me and all my homeboys, and we talking shit about what's going on Rap City. And I'm like, yo, we trying to do the same shit. How's we here critiquing them? They on TV.
Facts.
We sitting on the couch, smoking. The point is, you got to go do it. You got to put it out there. And then it'll grow. It'll grow and grow and grow and grow. So I salute you, brother. Like, you are of that lineage of those young black men that have gone out there and said, yo, I'm going to do it on my own, and I'm going to do it for myself, and I'm going to put it out there, and I'll put myself out there for the world to critique me, and this is who I am. Those are the people that win.
Thanks,
you
man.
you on the road to winning.
Thanks, bro. You know, I appreciate you, man, for real.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all the game, too, and all the knowledge you've been dropping. You know what I'm saying? You know,
my brother.
We had 1,700 viewers. Everybody was tuned in, you know what I'm saying? You know, as I said, man, you know, I appreciate you, man. You know, I really do.
Absolutely.
So, you know, keep continuing being great. You know what I mean? Like, as you've been doing, because you're definitely the GOAT.
My brother, I appreciate that.
You going down as the Michael Jordan of engineering. They're gonna do the last dance on you in a minute.
My dude, it's other brothers out here too, man. I just appreciate all of us that add to the culture and really like care about this thing. You know what I'm saying? And then now I'm at the point now where I'm just like, yo, I gotta pay it forward, and I gotta highlight people that, like, people might not know how much pleasure I get off of watching a professional chiller. Like, it's really my joint. It's not, this ain't no like, yo, let me just promote something because you my man. Like, that's really my show. I love that show, and I like all the angles that I'm telling you. As I'm watching it, I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm just like, yo, I'm super proud of you for getting out there and doing it. You know what I mean? So for me, I just salute everything you're doing, bro.
All right, man. You know, I appreciate you, man. You know, I'll probably hit you on later tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, check in. Definitely, I definitely need that beat too. So, you know, I'm gonna be looking for that in the email.
I got it coming for you. On my word.
Man. Yo, all the people that viewed in, man, for these 2 hours, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Because, you know, as I said, a lot of people never really heard you speak before. You just like a coach. You just there, and nobody never ever heard you talk before.
It's power in the background, man. It's power in the background.
Anybody that want to check out this, it'll be uploaded on YouTube soon, probably later tonight, and it's in my story. So, you know, just go to, you know, you can recap and go back to the story if you missed, if you just now tuning in. So, you know, just go back to my story. You know what I'm saying?
My brother, I'm going to check you. I'm going to holler.
I bet.
Yes, sir.
Yo, man, I appreciate for everybody tuning in today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he definitely dropped some jewels, man. He's a good dude right there. So, you know what I'm saying? If y'all missed it, just go to my story. It's in there.